What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Studio 39, aka the Bear Cave. I'm Rob Odie, and this is another episode of Spotlight 39. Um, we got another fantastic guest this evening, a little different than what we've done every time, which is pretty great. That's what the show's about, to try to help all these young athletes. So please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you hit that like button. Continue to share it on all your social media platforms because the more you share it, the more people subscribe, the more eyes and exposure these kids get, and that's ultimately the idea behind the platform. So a simple click or touch of a button, man, really goes a long way. So if you could do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to some fun conversation. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do, and then we're just going to have some conversation, go from there.
What's up, Rob? Thank you very much for inviting me to join you as you're getting all this started. My name is Ben Salomon. I am a football coach, varsity defensive line coach in the suburbs of Chicago, and I am the defensive trainer for a O-line D-line academy that we run out of the Chicagoland area called Fist Football. So I'm very involved in the sport, and I'm excited to talk about it.
That's awesome, man. So fist football. I see that you run what is it, the D line, right?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, not to cut you off, but if you don't give me a background or give us a background of kind of what led you to where you're at now. Did you play college ball? Where at, what you do, and then what led you to pursue the path that you went.
For sure. So kind of a unconventional path, I would say. I've spent the last 5 years as a teacher and a varsity football coach. And as far as fist football goes, I had been involved in the training game a little bit here and there with the offensive line coach at Huntley High School, who I had worked side by side with for a while. So
Okay.
he kind of got me introduced to that. As far as fist football goes, I had been looking for something new, and I had some connections to the guys that started fist football about 10 years ago already, actually.
Okay.
And they
So it's
had been
nothing new. It's
working,
pretty established.
yeah, they'd been working extremely hard to get it established, and we've been really able to get that to take off in the past year. I jumped on with them last winter, actually, like right before COVID hit. So it was actually
Interesting.
a pretty crazy time, especially up here in Illinois. But as far as my background goes, I did play college football, but not necessarily, the successful career that I wanted to have or would have envisioned having.
Sure.
And I actually stepped away from football for a long time. I wasn't even really interested in going into teaching or coaching. I was on the path to go into sports journalism, actually. And at the
Interesting.
last second, yeah, I just decided to teach. And even at that point in time, I really had no intentions on coaching. And um, I guess it was just in the cards and kind of what I was supposed to do as I got drawn back and got my first job as a varsity defensive line coach and just kind of refound my passion. I think I feel like I owed the game a lot more than I was able to put into it as a player for everything. I kind of looked back and reflecting on for what it did for me growing up and
Sure.
how much it contributed to who I am. So I fell in love with it again in a different way and wanted to give as much back as I possibly could.
That's awesome, man. So walk me through a little bit of what it's Football Academy, right? Is
It
the
is
former,
Fist
yep.
Football Academy.
So and then as far as getting info on it, we got the Twitter handle. What other social media platforms, website, how else can folks find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we primarily function out of Twitter, as does, the vast majority of high school football and
Sure.
scouting and the whole exposure scene goes. So that's where we primarily function. We of course have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page and an Instagram page and stuff set up and are in the process of building a more formal website.
Okay.
So we make most of our connections through Twitter. As far as the company itself goes, we try to take a different approach to training than I think a lot of the companies do, at least in our area. And I think we try to take an angle that really does set us apart as far as the way we try to make it an education and about building knowledge and just the environment and the vibe that we try to promote.
Okay, so with the academy, is it more in state or just localized, or do you have kids sign up from out of state or other areas and travel to your academy?
Sure. So it's actually been pretty exciting. We just on the 31st with a combine company, Cream City Combines, who operates
Okay,
out of the Milwaukee area, put on our first showcase on the 31st on Halloween.
wow,
We
okay,
had 160 plus linemen, mostly from Illinois, because right now with COVID, we're one of the
yeah,
few states that aren't playing football. We don't have a season. So kids have been very hungry and resilient, really, to find ways to compete and get better and have a sense of belonging and
yeah, for
competition.
sure.
So we put on our first showcase and it was awesome. We not only had a bunch of the top elite talent out from Illinois, but we were able to welcome some very impressive athletes from Wisconsin, Iowa, and Michigan.
No, that's
And
great, man.
it was fantastic. It really was. The whole event was live streamed. So if anyone's interested in checking it out, the sessions are on our YouTube channel. But our showcase was just for linemen. It was all about linemen. It catered to linemen, and I think that's something that's pretty unique. We haven't come
Yeah,
across
definitely.
anything quite
Yeah,
like it out there. We
not
run the
something that
linemen
specializes in linemen, so that's pretty awesome.
for sure, and we really try to prioritize the big guys and make them feel special. And we do work with a lot of the other companies in the Chicagoland area and have run the lineman portion of their showcases.
Okay,
Um, but whenever we're doing things like that, the linemen always ended up on the other field, or they didn't really get the spotlight or anything like
right,
that. So for the other co-owners of the company, the guys who started it, who are offensive line guys,
sure.
it was a dream of theirs for a really long time to be able to do something like this and give the linemen the spotlight for scouting exposure and for just getting some quality instruction to help them get better and not just show up and have it be all hype, but
Oh
have the
yeah,
kids not really walk away with anything valuable. So the brand of our showcase, we are Fist Football, but with Cream City Combines, our brand is The Line.
okay,
Um, and what kind of sets us apart is we have some connections to a lot of scouting opportunities and a lot of college coaches to connect these kids who compete with opportunities to play at the next level.
yeah.
Um,
So let
our
me.
combine portion, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me just kind of squeeze in there. Do you, when you say you have scouting and coaches and such, are they ever on site? Obviously pre-COVID, or is that a future plan where there will be potential showcases with scouts and coaches, in attendance?
For sure, that's a when the world is playing by normal rules, that's a common thing. So for the first thing, what we did is we live streamed the whole
Yep.
event, and in addition to that, we had several high definition cameras recording. So we were
Awesome.
able to cut up footage in addition to that to send out to a pretty extensive list of colleges and universities from Division 1 to Division 3 to JUCO and NAIA.
Okay.
Um, and in just the last couple weeks since the event took place, there have been some connections made and some interest developed in several of the
Awesome.
kids who did compete. Yeah, it was really cool. So that's one thing that we're really trying to do is help make those connections and
Yeah.
have it lead to something. We also laser measure and verify everything. So it's not just a hand timed combine. We identify drills that are most applicable to linemen, and it's all laser timed and laser measured. So kids also walked away with a graphic that is just posted all over our Twitter pages because we were able to blast that out to all the kids in under 48 hours with
Oh,
their
that's
official
that's
times on a
huge.
personalized graphic. Yeah, so if anybody does come calling, they've got something legit that they can send. with their pro shuttle, their L drill, their 10-20 split and power ball, height weight, all that kind of stuff. And it's also something that they could just pin to their Twitter, and it's something that's very legitimate in speaking to their abilities.
No, that's man, that's huge. Um, what about any future showcases planned, even with COVID?
Yeah, definitely. Those are in the talks. We're working on that right now. We definitely want to be able to do some kind of other Illinois event.
Okay.
We were very happy with the format and how everything went. It was very smooth and successful. But we're always going to be looking for ways to make it even more unique and
Oh yeah.
appropriate to helping kids not just compete on that day, but find opportunity moving forward. But we do really have bigger plans of moving to other Midwest cities and hopefully eventually taking it to a more national level and being able to provide linemen this opportunity and exposure all over the place.
Man, that's yeah, that's great, man. Like that's very you use the word unique, and that's precisely what it is. Because I've yet to come across somebody specialized in the line, which is pretty different, but pretty awesome. Because a lot of times offense and defensive linemen, they tend to get overlooked. Is not necessarily the superstar of the team, but then you've got you know big kids coming out of high school, get recruited to these big programs, and they get drafted top 10, and you're like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it, right? And the fact that now there's a specialized training academy that is hopefully going to go you know um, pretty national pretty quick would be fantastic. I hope that that happens for you guys, because I like to see it, especially further, little further south, right? In Virginia.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be huge, man. Um, but walk me through a little bit of like when you say the educational piece, right? And you get them ready for these scouts and that type of stuff. What do you do, or what are your plans with these young athletes to really get them into their recruitment game? Because through me, obviously a lot of kids will come to me, and they they want help, they want some looks, some more exposure and such. And it's like I stress Twitter, 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 because that's where everything comes from, right? Um, do workout videos, send your highlight film, those types of things. But with your academy, do you guys, have a piece where you actually focus on what they do to prepare for, setting themselves up for that job interview per se of recruitment?
Yeah, we try to be as full service as possible and really make ourselves available to all of our athletes to help with anything that they need. So just in the past couple of weeks, we've actually worked with several of our kids cleaning up their Twitter bios, helping them clean up their huddle highlights to be able to pin to the top of their page,
Sure.
just helping identify the important things like their measurables and their academics and prioritizing plays based on the kinds of things that we know that scouts and colleges are going to want to see, and just giving them the best opportunity to shine and show off what makes them special. Um, we also do things like um, help our athletes prepare drills to be able
Okay.
to include on some kind of combine video that not only
Sure. Sure.
shows off their speed and their agility and their explosive strength and stuff like that, but
Yep.
also the kinds of movements and functional mechanics that are very specific to the position that they play.
I mean, and that goes a long way, because you'll see a lot of coaches, put out on Twitter on a daily basis saying, if you're going to send film, if you're going to, reach out, you know, don't have slow motion huddles, and don't have XYZ. Make it specific to you and your skill set and your craft and the position that you're looking to go after. So that's the fact that you guys are taking the time to help with that. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, the offense and defensive line, man, they got a future. I like it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a lot of fun. Um, Over the summer, we spend a ton.
I think we lost audio.
school district, and some school districts were full go. Some never even got the opportunity to be in person as a team. And that was actually the case for us, because not only do we work together running this company, but we're also now all on the same varsity football staff
Oh
at
wow.
at Burlington Central High School, which is a smaller 5A school. We go all the way up to an 8A classification in Illinois,
Oh wow.
but we're out west, about an hour west, directly west of the city of Chicago. So it was just so crazy for me, because it's my first year at this school, and I'm trying to get on board with everything that's going on and really make connections with the other coaches I didn't know so well, and especially the kids. But we never got the chance to come together and practice. So we put a lot more time into the training once our state went into a phase that allowed that kind of sport and recreational activity to happen.
Sure.
And the training really just kind of blew up, and the demand got higher and higher, because I said it earlier, the kids are just so resilient and want so badly to have that outlet. And it's not just about football. There's so much about being in a team environment that
Oh
they
yeah.
just weren't getting. And you could tell that it was impacting mental health, and they were just craving those kinds of things. So what's been as awesome as anything else is working with all these kids, dozens and dozens and dozens of defensive linemen this season, and they're acting like teammates. And that's been the most fun part of it. And it's really given us an awesome platform to try and educate and enhance the knowledge of these kids as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, that's man, that's awesome. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here, right? So you said the
Sure.
you and the other two owners of the academy are all coaching the same school now, right?
We are now. Yeah, we used
O-
to be rivals. I was on the opposite sideline
Okay.
the last several years. So
Okay. So
we
now we're on
know
the
each
same
other really
team.
well. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So so you guys are projected to have the top offensive line and defensive line in the country, right? Not just the state, but we're gonna go in the country, right?
So I will say that coaching and training are pretty different domains.
Sure. Sure.
Um, with coaching, there is so much that is tied into scheme and game plan, and what coordinators want and what the head coaches want and things like that. And I think a lot of varsity position coaches, a lot of assistants, even at the college level, maybe would tell you that they feel like they're not always giving the kind of attention that they might want to every individual athlete,
Sure.
because at a practice, it's all reps, reps, reps. Let's get game ready. We need preparedness turned all the way up. But in what we do with fist football, it's very slowed down. I
Okay.
think you'll see a lot of trainers out there really treat their training sessions, their private training sessions, more like a practice. And
Okay.
you see a lot of kids just kind of get like run into the ground, and it's just nonstop drill repetition after drill repetition without a whole lot of education. And we really, really, really like to start with the education. As far as our O line guys go, they're very, very, very well versed with OLP, offensive line performance principles,
Okay.
which is kind of like the new world sort of contemporary spin on offensive line mechanics and technique, and really putting the emphasis on biomechanics and physics. And they do an excellent job of educating the offensive linemen using those principles, and even putting their own spins on it sometimes. And I try to approach the way I coach at the high school and train my defensive linemen the same way. I try to focus extremely heavily on the mechanics of the body and setting the foundation based around that, and then kind of developing my training philosophies and my coaching philosophies for defensive line around those strong foundations of the biomechanics and body awareness and all the things that kids need to understand and have knowledge of, because when there's purpose communicated and when they get it up here, it enables you to really accelerate the development of the players. And I think the kids that we work with really do see that we put a ton of effort and energy into being as knowledgeable as we possibly can, so we can approach it like teachers, because we're all teachers, and
I
we
mean,
we want.
ultimately, yeah. I mean, anytime that you're
Yeah,
dealing with, the youth, whether they're a year younger than you, they're still your youth, right? And
absolutely.
at that point, anything that you say or do examples of or train per se. I mean, you're teaching them. That's exactly what we do, right? Whether it's teaching them a craft and how to do, what they love to do, or teaching them how to speak and carry themselves and be a better person, whatever it is, we're constantly teaching. So yeah, very well put. And the fact that you use the word physics and all kinds of other terminology, like that was the most educated, breakdown
I appreciate that.
that I've heard thus far. So that's pretty cool. I just needed to throw that out there.
I appreciate that. With our training, it's a lot different from that varsity football practice. We talk a lot. We speak through everything that we possibly can and be really thorough, and all of our kids know that the big goal is that we want them to feel every time that they work with us like they're walking away.
And I hear you. All right, yeah, because you faded in and out.
Oh, sorry
And
about that.
yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so you just went in. You're out of it again. It's like you're muted.
And the functional work that we do and getting everything to apply to the football field.
Cool, man. So, not going to take a whole lot more of your time, right? I think you've went into fantastic detail inside and out, and the fact that the O line, D line, they've got a new place, they got a new home, especially in the state of Illinois right now, and hopefully nationally, sooner than later. I'm excited for it, man, because like I said, those guys tend to get overlooked, a good portion of the time. They're appreciated, because they're in the trenches, right? But they tend to get overlooked as is not necessarily the stars of the team, and they're just as talented, if not more talented, than other guys on the team. So the fact that they've got a home that really digs into their craft and their specialty, I think is fantastic. And the way you approach it, I think is second to none. It's first class from the description, and
Thank you.
I'm going to definitely take a peek at that combine. I'm very interested to see how that was run and flowed, man.
Awesome.
So I'm going to definitely check that out, and then hopefully when you have future plans, COVID pending, travel pending, maybe I can make the trip and come out in person and see a handful of your guys. That'd be pretty cool, because the idea behind my platform is really to take it on the road once COVID lifts and I can start doing some live shows. I'm wanting to go to the a bunch of college camps and things like that, but unfortunately, that's not
Oh
reality
my
right now.
gosh,
So
yeah, no
once
doubt.
things lift, man, hopefully we'll be able to link up. But in the meantime, I've got an open platform. If you've got young men that are running through your program, or even on your team at the school, by all means, feel free to tell them to reach out. I've got an open door policy. I love to have them on, let them share their stories, highlight themselves. Because, like I said at the beginning, man, I think everybody's got a story to share, and it can inspire or impact somebody in a certain way. And the fact that there is no football or little to no football nationwide right now is just, it's heartbreaking because a lot of these kids going in their senior year are, they're pleading right now for coaches to take a look at them because, they can only go on last year's results. And some of these kids put a hell of a lot of effort in getting bigger, stronger, faster. And they don't have a platform to showcase it. And the fact that, at least for the O line, D line, they've got your combine, they've got your platform. So, that's exciting, man. And hopefully things get back to some form of normal, and these kids can really get out there and do what they love to do, and really, blow this thing back up in a positive way. But before we go, if you've got anything else that you'd like to share, by all means, feel free. If not, I can close it out. You tell me the good word.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just at the end of the day, we want to provide opportunity for kids. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to do what we love to do. We absolutely love to do it, but it's all because they give us the platform to be able to share our knowledge and deepen our knowledge and be able to pass that on. I think you hit the nail on the head there that there are a lot of kids who are hurting right now because there are a lot of opportunities that they would have had access to that they didn't get the opportunity to take advantage of because of what's going on in the world. And especially in our state, we're seeing a lot of that. We see a lot of that with many of the kids that we work with in the class of 21. A lot of kids who would be scholarship kids who aren't getting those offers because they don't have the film to put out. A lot of kids who would have access to bigger opportunity who aren't necessarily settling but don't have as many options as they should have been able to consider and explore. And it's just really tough. And no matter what the situation is at the end of the day, through our business and what we do, we just want to help as many young men and young people achieve their dreams as we possibly can. And I think the coolest thing about it is that every kid we work with shares the common characteristic of being intrinsically motivated to get better at something.
That's
Um,
awesome.
we work with a lot of kids who will be playing Division 1 ball. We work with some kids who might not ever play too many snaps of meaningful football on a Friday night. But we love them all, and we love seeing their growth and their successes, whether it's football or something else, because we know that they've got it within them to be successful down whatever path they end up on. And I haven't been doing it that long yet to be able to really see, like, those things come to
Sure.
fruition. But that's something I'm very excited about and very much looking forward to. And um, we're just excited to be able to keep doing what we're doing and see it grow and try to reach as many kids in the area as we possibly can. And it's pretty special. Kids come
You broke up with me on that last piece again. Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. It broke off again.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. We definitely got the better part of it at least. So
Good.
again, man, I'm gonna thank you for your time. Hopefully we can run this back. Like I said, I got an open invite. If you just want to, hell, you can even line up a couple of guys and come on with them.
Absolutely.
I'd love to meet your partners in the academy. Maybe we could all three sit down and chop it up one night.
For
Um,
sure.
whatever the case is, man, I'm open. I love what you're doing, and I want to spread the word. And I'm just going to close it out with, just please make sure if you're watching these videos, you hit the subscribe button because much like you're trying to do, we're trying to help as many young athletes as possible. And anytime we can network, with companies and personnel like yourself, man, I think it's a blessing because that just improves the networking and grows it that much further. And hopefully folks will start to subscribe a little bit more, and we can get some more eyes on these kids, get them some more exposure, especially in these times of need, man, because with COVID, the need is now. And I've got the platform, and I got the eyes for them, right? So open door policy for those listening. I'm Rob Odie. This was another episode of Spotlight 39. Until next time, I appreciate it, my man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
For sure.